Hey everyone, Byron here. I want to run through a really common interview question today, and one that can definitely put you in a bad spot if you're not ready for it. It's a really direct question, and so it can leave you either caught off guard to the point where you're sitting in the hot seat with nothing to say, you're just frozen up, or a lot of people will also just jump in and start answering before they've really thought about it, and they'll just start blurting things out. The question is, why should we hire you? And when somebody blurts things out, it's usually like, okay, well, I'm a really hard worker. I'm going to outwork the competition. I love your company. I've always liked what you guys are doing, blah, blah, blah. And they just go on and on. And it might seem like throwing a lot of things out there is a good idea, but really the hiring manager is going to respond a lot better if you have one or two compelling reasons that are well researched. So I'll show you how to do that right now. So step one, you've got to recognize what's important to the company before you're able to present something that's convincing to them, because you have to speak to what they want. So the best way to do this, the easiest and fastest way, is just pick up a copy of the job description. Look at what's listed near the top, what's repeated. You might see the same theme repeated 2 or 3 times. Find something like that. Find something that you have in your background. So find something that's important to them that you have and can speak about, and that's it. You're ready to go to step two. Your best answer is you're gonna mention, hey, I did some research and saw you guys need this particular thing. It seems like you care a lot about it. You can just say, listen, I read the job description. It seems like you need this. Tell them why you're qualified and why you can deliver really well in that area. More specific is better. It's a general claim isn't going to hold a lot of weight, but if you can talk about what you did in your last job or throw some numbers in there or give an example, that's perfect. Keep it brief, but keep it detailed. And then in addition to that, show some interest. There's a difference between being able to do something and wanting to do it. You want to show both. You don't want the hiring manager thinking, okay, well, I know they can do it, but do they want to? Are they interested? So you want to just crush that doubt right away. It actually is a big doubt that hiring managers have, believe it or not, just depending on how you tell your story and depending on how you come across and your personality in general in the interview. So we want to get rid of that. And then the final step, which will actually help you get rid of that doubt and show interest, and it'll also make your answer more memorable. It's something I call a distinguisher. This is a little thing you add to the end of your answer. It's going to make your answer incredibly memorable. It's going to engage the hiring manager when they think back to all the interviews they had, like next week when they're thinking about everybody they met with. It's going to make your answer jump into their mind. They're going to attach it to you. They're going to remember, okay, yeah, that's the person who said this and that, which is great when that happens, because often if they've spoken to 10 or 15 people, they really might the answers might blend in their head and they start to mix one or the other, and you don't want that to happen. Let's look at an example, and there will be a distinguisher at the end, so you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so why should we hire you? I read the job description last night. It seems like self-management is mentioned a lot. It's definitely one of my strengths, something I'm good at, but also something I'm working on a lot. In my last job, my boss really only checked in with me once a week on Mondays. Other than that, his approach was, hey, you're doing great. Keep running with it. Let me know if you need anything. And then in my own time, I've also been doing a lot of reading on the subject. I've looked up productivity strategies and self-management and goal setting and all of that. I have some new ideas that I can definitely put to use and get even better with in this area. So I'm actually really excited about this subject. I was excited to see that on the job description it's mentioned too. So I thought it was a great fit because of that. That's it. That's pretty much how I would deliver the answer. The last piece, the part about researching on your own and doing some reading on your own, that's the distinguisher. It might sound pretty simple, but that's going to stick out. The next day, the hiring manager is going to say, "Oh yeah, that was the person who's reading on their own about self-management. That's the person who's diving into it and like looking up articles on the web." It's going to stand out. If you've given a talk on a subject, even if you've presented internally to like a group within your last company, that's a great distinguisher too. Any research you've done in your own time, if it's something you've focused on in school, if it's something that relates to a hobby of yours, those are all great distinguishers. The only thing with the distinguisher is it has to be true, and it has to be something you can elaborate on, because it's a powerful tool, and when you end your answer like this, the hiring manager is going to be interested. They're going to want to know more. They're going to, in this example, they're going to ask questions like, okay, what have you read? Is there one or two people that you read most from, or is it kind of a mix? Okay, what strategy do you have in mind? What are you most excited to try right now? And when they ask you things like that, they're not probing you, they're not doubting you. they're genuinely interested. They're like, okay, this sounds awesome. They probably haven't heard an answer like this in a while, and they really want to know. So the only way it can turn bad is if you just don't have something to give them, or if you told them a bunch of BS and you really have nothing to follow up with, or you haven't been doing any reading. So otherwise, if you use this, you'll be completely fine. Okay, that's it for this video. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. If you want more tips, check out my blog. And thanks for watching.